At the bustling Los Angeles International Airport, the first-class check-in line was filled with passengers draped in designer attire and expensive accessories, eager to board a luxurious flight. Among them stood a man who contrasted starkly with his surroundings. Clad in a simple flannel shirt, faded jeans, and worn-out boots, he carried nothing but a well-used backpack. Despite his humble appearance, his presence was quietly commanding. This man was Keanu Reeves. Unlike the hurried, impatient travelers around him, Keanu stood with an air of serene composure, observing the world without a trace of agitation. Most people failed to recognize him, but those who did stole curious glances, uncertain if it was truly the Hollywood star standing in such an unassuming manner. However, one man in line took notice for a different reason. Victor Hardin, a businessman known for his sharp suits and sharper words, scoffed when he saw Keanu standing ahead of him. Dressed impeccably in a tailored navy suit and carrying an expensive leather briefcase, Victor exuded wealth and confidence. He appraised Keanu with thinly veiled disdain, finally breaking the silence between them. "First class, huh?" Victor said, smirking. "Guess they'll let anyone in these days." Keanu turned his head slightly, meeting Victor's gaze with a calm expression. "The world is full of surprises," he replied, unfazed. Victor chuckled, expecting Keanu to react with embarrassment or indignation, but instead he remained composed. Determined to assert himself, Victor continued, "No offense, but you don't exactly look like someone who flies first class." Keanu simply nodded. Looks can be deceiving. As the first-class passengers boarded, Victor was shocked to find himself seated right next to the man he had just been scrutinizing. He checked his ticket again, as if hoping for an error, then shook his head in disbelief. "You've got to be kidding me," he muttered under his breath. Keanu took his seat, giving Victor a polite nod. Despite the businessman's obvious discomfort, Keanu exuded an effortless ease, as if he belonged wherever he stood. Determined to prove his superiority, Victor initiated another round of questioning. "So, what do you do?" Keanu adjusted his backpack under the seat and answered simply, "I work in film." Victor raised an eyebrow. "Oh, commercials? Indie projects?" Keanu offered a small smile. "Something like that." Feeling emboldened, Victor laughed. "I admire the ambition, but some spaces just aren't meant for everyone. First class, for example, it's for those who work hard and earn their place." Keanu met his gaze with steady calm. "I believe we all end up where we're meant to be." Their conversation continued throughout the flight, with Victor attempting to assert his dominance through snide remarks and thinly veiled insults. But each time, Keanu responded with grace and wisdom. When the flight attendant offered drinks, Victor ordered champagne with an air of entitlement. Keanu simply asked for water. Victor scoffed. "Water? You're wasting a first-class experience on water." Keanu took a sip and shrugged. Sometimes, simplicity is enough. Passengers around them, initially indifferent, began to take notice of the exchange. While Victor's arrogance seemed to fill the space, Keanu's quiet wisdom carried more weight. Finally, unable to contain his frustration, Victor snapped, "People like me work hard to be here. Some people just get lucky." Keanu set down his water bottle and turned to Victor fully. "When the flight lands, we all end up in the same place." The words hung in the air, resonating with those around them. Victor frowned, sensing the shift in perception. He leaned in, voice lowering. "Not everyone is on the same level. You either prove your worth, or you get left behind." Keanu tilted his head slightly. "True value isn't about what you have. It's about how you treat others." Victor scoffed but faltered slightly. He was losing the battle, not because of aggression, but because Keanu's quiet dignity was something he couldn't fight. As the plane prepared to land, the flight attendant approached Keanu with a polite smile. "Mr. Reeves, the captain sends his regards and has confirmed your connection in Tokyo." The name echoed through the first-class cabin. Victor blinked in shock. "Reeves!" Keanu nodded, unfazed by the revelation. Victor swallowed hard. "I didn't realize. I mean, you never said who you were." Keanu smiled. "I didn't think it was necessary." Victor felt a wave of shame wash over him. "I misjudged you," he admitted. "I was arrogant." Keanu looked at him kindly. We all have moments like that. What matters is what we do next. Victor nodded slowly, feeling the weight of those words settle deep within him. As they disembarked, Keanu greeted fans with warmth, his humility never wavering. Victor lingered in the terminal, watching him go, reflecting on their conversation. For the first time in a long time, he questioned the values he had built his life around. Perhaps true success wasn't measured by wealth or status, but by the impact one had on others. And in that moment, Victor realized he had much to learn.